Hi, I'm Chef Jessica, and for this month's local flavor, we're going to visit the Hyppo in St. Augustine and learn about paletas. Tell us why you decided to start a business making paletas.
Well, I always wanted to open up a cafe or something like that, and I've always been into food, and I actually got this idea from a woman that I sat with on a plane. She had been to Mexico and had gotten just enthralled with the whole idea of Mexican popsicles or paletas, and was telling me about it on our 3 or 4 hour plane ride. And so when I got home, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna try this. And I made a couple of like traditional Mexican recipes I found online, and then started to let people try them.
What's the difference between a paleta and a regular popsicle?
Paleta follows the Mexican tradition, or really it's a Latin tradition in a broader sense, of using fresh fruits and fresh herbs instead of just a sugar syrup with food coloring or some artificial flavor. So you get a lot of fruit pulp and a lot of natural flavor, and that's kind of the basis of the paleta. Paleta is Spanish for little stick, and so that's kind of a slang for popsicle in Spanish. And it's got huge Latin roots, especially in Central and South America. And apparently Brazil is like the artisan popsicle eating capital of the entire world, which is funny because although they're known as paletas over most of the rest of the world, in Brazil, of course, they speak Portuguese, and in Portuguese, it's picolé.
So now we're going to learn a little bit about the paletas, and if you want to make them at home, how could you do that?
Well, if you're going to make popsicles at home, you're going to follow most of the same methods that we do here, and mainly the most critical thing is using fresh fruit and trying to get as much of that fruit pulp into the popsicles as possible. Once the fruit's washed, you need to hull it, get those skins or seeds out of there.
I love your strawberry huller, that's a great tool.
Yeah, you can use just a nice firm home spoon.
Is there any special equipment you need when you're making popsicles?
Yeah, you're gonna need molds for one thing. We use stainless steel molds that we sourced from Brazil that make 26 at a time, but you also need a freezer. Everyone has a freezer at their home, and if you freeze popsicles there, you're probably gonna get a freeze time of about 6 to 8 hours. The freezer that I have, my dad and I designed and built, and our freeze times are usually below half an hour. The longer your freeze time, the stronger the ice is going to be. The crystals won't line up, and it'll form much stronger ice. And so having that shorter freeze time gives us crystals that line up a little better, and that gives us a much better texture.
Okay, so now that you've cleaned all the strawberries, what's your next step?
The next step is to put them in the blender. So we'll add the strawberries first into the blender.
That's quite a blender. How many horsepower is this thing?
4 horsepower.
Wow.
And then we'll add our evaporated cane juice.
And that is a lot darker than the regular sugar.
And then we add our water. And, can't forget, the pinch of salt.
Okay, and so since we're in St. Augustine and it's kind of a signature flavor, you're gonna throw one more thing?
Yes, the datil pepper. These came from my neighbor Mike's yard.
I know the datil peppers are in the habanero family, so they are really hot.
They are very hot,
and
but they're also sweet, and that's where they get the name datil, derivative from date.
Oh, wow. And I noticed you didn't pull the seeds out, which happens to be where the heat is concentrated.
We do leave the seeds in here.
Wow.
When we use ghost chilies or habaneros, we'll typically de-seed, but for datils, we just leave them in. Done blending, we're going to pour into our pouring pitcher.
Wow, that's a lot of popsicles.
Yes. And now it's time to fill our mold. Okay. I've already prepared this mold with these sticks on the extractor.
Do you have to spray it with anything, or?
Nope, just as long as it's clean stainless steel, you're ready to go.
Okay, wow. Oh, like a waterfall of strawberry yumminess.
There's our popsicle, and now we'll place our sticks in, all 26 at once. And now this is ready to go in the freezer. Okay, so now our popsicles have completely frozen, and we're going to put them into a hot water bath to pop them out of the mold, all 26 at a time.
Wow. Oh, that's so cool.
Oh, we missed one.
Oh, whatever will you do with a spare popsicle?
And we'll set it here. Yeah, you go ahead and have a bite.
Stephen, thank you so much for letting us come to the Hyppo and learn about paletas.
Thanks so much for coming.
It's been so much fun to visit the Hyppo and learn about paletas. You can find out more on their website listed below. Until next month, I'm Chef Jessica.